Okay, I'll try to give you a fish room tour, more or less, of Guppy Palooza of about 50 of the tanks. Try to zoom in on one in the corner. And this is, these are all red albino. I just have 3 females. The male just kicked the bucket. This was the first drop from the ones I imported from Indonesia. I think the females are hit, so I'm going to give it a few weeks because the male just died last week. Unexpectedly there, I did a water change and he didn't adjust to it for some reason. But the females have a little bit of color on them, which is nice. They look gravid, so I'm hoping they were hit. And if not, I have another male I can toss in there. The next tank is Platinum Red Mosaic Dumbo Ear Guppies. Just got a drop of something up top, trying to catch the babies there, moving around a little bit. Really just getting a view of plants, I guess. But there's the male. These were the first drop from the ones I imported from Indonesia. All the fish are eating some live baby brine shrimp right now. I have a trio in here of, it's obviously one male and one normal fin female, and this one that's a little hard to see is a long fin female. I think she's the one having the babies right now. So the next tank over is another tank of babies from the Platinum Red Mosaic Big Ear Guppies, which is really not that easy to say. I have a little bit of both in here, long fin and short fin. I will say some experience now with these Dumbo ears, they do take quite a while to color up. So if you bought them from anybody, your males are going to look really like females for a while and very plain. And then at about the 3-month mark, 3.5-month mark, you'll all of a sudden see the Platinum Red Mosaic coloration start. So next tank is another drop from the original all red albinos that I got from Indonesia. This male is getting fully colored up now. The tail hasn't grown yet. It'll be a delta tail. There's a couple of 3 females in there, and I believe there's an extra male, real young one right at the top, who is right there. He doesn't feel like coming out. So anyway, that's the other all red albinos I have. And this tank is half black AOCs. They're starting to get their colors right now. I have to split these up probably into 2 10-gallon tanks because they're a little too crowded now. So this next tank I'll kind of skip over because it's a work in progress. And this is a tank of some half black blues. They mostly get a matching tail and dorsal. This one's looking a little light. I'll have to keep my eye on that. But I just moved them into this tank, so I'll give them a little bit of time. So try and get them to get under the light so you can actually see that they are half black blues. So these are fairly young, so they will get a pretty good size going. These do get really nice long tails and a good sized dorsal. Got to keep my eye on this one because that dorsal's a little bit too light. I don't like that. The next tank is going to be coming down. These are like a full blue. I'm going to have to move all these fish into a 10. Probably 2 10s. This is the oldest male. That's the father of all of them. And at times they look a little bit different colors, but they're mostly a dark blue. So, this next tank is a metalhead red and blue grass. You can see the metalhead is pretty pronounced on the redder ones, the red tail ones. A couple of blue ones in there. It kind of varies. Right now they're Can't really see the pronounced metalhead part, but they do have a metal head. Not really a metal head, but metal coloration. And next up is the cross I'm working on of half black blue AOCs. Like I said, I still have the yellow in there, which I have to figure out what to do with that. I'm going to really try to go for just half black blue AOC. This one is pretty decent size, but he does have a chunk out of his tail, which is not too thrilled about. I think the females got a little hungry, so maybe the spots look like food. This is the pump I use that runs the entire fish room. It's a Dolphin AV50. And next up is a tank of platinum red mosaic Dumbo ears. This is also from the first drop. I kept a lot of them. I have the long fin females in here. This one's a short fin, but has a little bit longer dorsal, I think. So next tank is the original platinum red mosaic Dumbo ears that I got from a seller in Indonesia. The male, the red is sort of morphed into a bit of a black, I guess, which I guess is what makes it a mosaic. One of these females just dropped. I think it was this one. And all her babies are in this tank. And these were born on the 15th, so they're kind of small. See if I can get the camera to focus on them. You can see the red stomach, pink stomach from them eating the live baby brine shrimp. Next tank is also going to be some platinum red mosaics. These are from the second week of September, so these probably won't color up until Christmas, I guess. Now this tank is going to be coming down. I got some kind of strange green weird algae in it. This is the black lace snakeskins I'm working on. The older male is starting to crap out. This green stuff is kind of what you see coming out of the tap water in New Jersey. So, not really, but it sounds good. So I got to take this tank down and move these fish into a clean tank, and then clean this up and put something else in there. These are Japanese blue firetail double swords. You can get a pretty good look at the male. These are pretty young. This tank is dirty because this tank is also going to be coming down. I'm going to move them into a larger tank. And next up is a cross I made, which produced the red and also the blue metalhead grass. That's the weird female that somebody had online was kind enough to tell me is a swallow. So it looks fertile, so we'll see how things end up going. And try to get one of the males in there. They have a really nice pattern. I like the red one better. I think it's just nicer. But it's got some nice colors on it. My lighting overhead, these tanks are fluorescent light over. Most of the other tanks I have LEDs over. This tank is really overcrowded, and it's red grass. So there's one male in with a bunch of females, so he must be pretty happy. But it was one of the nicer males, really getting a nice deep red, which I liked, and still had the black grass pattern. So these tanks I'll go through quicker. Hey, that's the fish room butler. How's that? Yeah, he's the guardian of the fish room. He's got his little prehistoric fish next to him. And these are Japan blue double swords. It's going to have to do a water change in this tank again. This is another tank. There he goes again. Another tank of the Japan blue double swords. And this one I made a cross. So it's they are Japan blue double swords, but I did cross them into my other sword line. So I'll see what I end up getting out of that. It looks like they're just going to be the Japan blues. This tank really can't see into at the moment because I got some green water, but it is the red lace snakeskins. This is a tank of young yellow deltas. So I'm growing these out, hopefully the males for yellow class in the IFGA once April, May rolls around. These are the long dorsal and long tail females I've been working on. The males are in there with them. This one's got a really nice long dorsal. A couple of them have a standard short dorsal. That's one of the males. These were my original cross a couple generations ago that started as Black Moscow and all red albinos. And the next couple tanks are ones that are coming down. This tank already has some babies in it, which is good. I'm leaving the babies in because I gotta make sure the male hit them. The females are Galaxy Guppies. And the male, who I have no idea where he is a Black Delta. This is a tank of Black Moscows, young ones. They're growing out. I'll start pulling out of here for the breeders. This is another tank of Black Moscows. So I got one older female in there. I ran out of room for in some other tanks. This tank of reds is quarantined. So I'm treating them with Quick Cure and Melifix. It's a grow out tank of some platinum red mosaic big ear guppies. The males in here, I think I have one good male and the other ones are long fins, so really not going to get anything going here. And it's another quarantine tank. This is a cross I made that ended up with mosaic metalheads. So these are, depending how the light hits them, these look pretty good. So it's the only tank of them I have, something I'm still working on. And they are pretty much what I was expecting. Grass guppies. I just was trying to improve the red color. And this one I got to keep my eye on because I don't know what that is. That's just growing out. That may have to get pulled. But here's a couple of the males. It's interesting. And down here I have a breeding tank of colony of cories. You know, they lay eggs every once in a while when they feel like it. It's a tank with some rams. Hoping something will happen with them. And this is a pair of cories that breeds when they feel like it. So the next tank is the axolotls, who I don't know where the heck they're hiding. And it's another tank with some rams in it. So see if I can get the other axolotls. Maybe they're out. Now, this is a tank of Black Deltas. That's my finger. Usually I show the females in the Black Delta class. This tank is coming down. And here's a tank of, these are the red grass that I had outside. It's kind of hard to hold this phone. So sorry about the shaking. But these have nice coloration. Like I said, I lost the color on the females. For some reason the tails don't have a color anymore. Not sure what's happening there. And here's the two pink axolotls, leucistic ones. I have to put them in a bigger tank because they grew fast. They're very bizarre, really cool. They're harmless. I could probably feed guppies to them, but I really don't want to do that. I've been feeding them live red wiggler worms. Every once in a while they bite each other because they think they're a worm, I guess. So anyhow, that's probably about 50 tanks. So a little bit of a long video. I usually don't shoot them this long. See if these knuckleheads are going to do something besides stare at me. It's probably the most activity we'll see out of them for a week. Anyway, thanks. I hope this wasn't too boring, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my finger there. It was strange, and also hearing the fish room butler. So not too many fish rooms that have a butler. All right, thanks.